but I just think that it's cool. Like, you see someone, you like their energy, and you're like, there's something special about this person, whether it's romantic or friendship or whatever, and you're like, hey, can I have your number? Can we keep talking? I think that's pretty brave, especially at that age. Like, I don't think very many people would have been brave enough to do that, if you know what I mean. So then the next story was getting scared because he was holding me against the wall, like choking me. And I mean, obviously my friends were inside and everything, and like we weren't like alone, but still, that situation was just scary, okay? And you can't do that to someone. like you'd have to communicate that. And at that point I was like, okay, this first he comes on extremely strong, then he asks me after kissing me one time if I'm his girlfriend now. He's being weird, and then he's choking me. And the funny thing is I was trying to get over Jake, but this didn't help at all. I was just like, I want to be with Jake. I wish Jake was here. I think I actually ended up texting him that some weird stuff was happening. I don't remember, but it definitely didn't help me getting over it. So my friend calls him an Uber, and he was trying to stay, and he kept saying like, but I want to stay a bit longer, and holding my hand. I'm like, and I was really bad. Like, I feel like now I would just be like, I'm not interested in you. I mean, obviously I know I was giving him mixed signals by making out with him. That was not smart on my part. I was drunk. I don't think I would have done this sober. One other reason why I don't drink alcohol anymore. But yeah, then I brought him outside, and this Uber was there, and he was like, I'm not gonna see you again, am I? And I'm like, nope. And then he left. So that's my next story. Okay, so my last story, I have a few others, cause, okay, I'll tell you two little mini he was dating or whatever, right? And so yeah, we talk about that. And then randomly, out of nowhere, guys, I'm just sitting in the cafeteria having my lunch, whatever I was having. And when I tell you these things just happened to me, like, I don't know why I tracked them, just like Jake just started texting me. Okay, guys, I think I need to wrap this up, but I need to tell you what happened. So, I'm sitting in the cafeteria, and he texts me, Dan texts me. Like I said, we had like an on-off friendship, and sometimes he would make really rude comments, which I feel like this was just his hurt ego. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it was a complicated friendship. Nothing ever happened between us. Yeah, but it was just a complicated friendship. Anyway, and he texts me, I have something for you, like I have a gift for you, and it was random, it was out of the blue. And he's like, I left it in your mailbox, but at that point I didn't live at home, I lived in a dorm. I was at university. And so I don't remember when I was like, I'm not at home, I'm in the university city, can you tell me what it is? Because like the suspense was killing me, guys. And then he was like, I named a star after you. Like, he literally went and bought me a star. I mean, obviously you can't buy a star, but you know what I mean. He bought me this like certificate. Oh, I actually just thought of another story, but I think I'm gonna keep that other story for just another video. Yeah, so he bought me a star, and I was like, I didn't know what to think of it. Like, it is sweet, it's so sweet, but it's not like he was my boyfriend. Like, I feel like if my boyfriend would do that, I would think that is extremely romantic and cute. But because of this back and forth, complicated friendship that we had, and because of his feelings for me that he told me he didn't have anymore, but then again he was like kind of mad if I didn't give him attention, etc. It was just like, I felt like I was being put in a weird position,